Welcome to Next Level Play Therapy, a weekly podcast dedicated to supporting the next generation of child and adolescent therapists to provide exceptional play therapy services. We'll explore all things play therapy to elevate your work with children and adolescents using the therapeutic powers of play. I'll discuss practical tips and ideas so you can provide a transformative experience for your young clients and make a real difference in their lives. So get ready to take your play therapy skills to the next level and make a lasting impact in the lives of children, adolescents, and families. Hey there, welcome to this week's episode of Next Level Play Therapy. And today I want to talk about a topic that comes up a lot when I am working with people learning how to use play therapy. Especially, this is a topic we talk a lot about in Play Therapy Academy. People getting stuck, not sure if play therapy is actually working. How can you tell if it's working? Not sure how to proceed. Kind of feeling like you're kind of stuck in a loop going nowhere, but you don't know if you're not going anywhere. So today, that's what we're going to talk about. So if you've ever felt like you have been working with your clients using play therapy and you're not making any progress, you wonder if you're making progress, you've kind of looked through you've looked through the internet, you've searched Etsy and Pinterest to see if you can get ideas to get unstuck and find the thing that's actually going to help you get unstuck or feel like your clients are actually making progress and you're helping them. Maybe you've even talked to your colleagues or maybe your supervisor, but they don't use play therapy, so they don't really know how to help you. Maybe you're the only one in your agency or at the practice where you're working that uses play therapy or even works with children. And so they kind of give you a pat on the back and encourage you, give you moral support, but it doesn't really help to know if play therapy is working or what you should do in your sessions. They're well-meaning, but it still kind of feels like you're isolated and alone. So if that's you, or if you have ever felt that way, then today's live stream and podcast episode is for you. I'm going to talk about 4 things that you can do to help you figure out if your clients are making progress, figure out if play therapy is actually working, if what you're doing is actually working, so that you can get back on track. The first thing that I want to talk about, before I do that, I wanted to welcome whoever is watching live. So if you're on LinkedIn or YouTube, or maybe here on Instagram, if you're watching live, I would love to know who's here. So post your name in the comments. What play therapy modality are you using? What population are you working with? Feel free to join the conversation, ask questions. Even if you're watching the replay, I would still love to hear from you. Post your name, what population you're working with. And for those of you listening on the podcast, feel free to pop over to my Instagram channel and message me, or if you're in my Facebook group, message me in there, or post in the Facebook group. So, and if you find this information helpful, I would love it if you would share it with colleagues, anyone you think that might benefit from it. Let's kind of pass on the information and share the love, so to speak. So let's get started for today. All right. So if you are feeling like you are stuck in an endless cycle of searching the internet, going through all your handouts from your previous training to remember maybe some of the activities that you do. That's what I do. Sometimes I like to review the handouts and go back over them later. So if that's you, then I'm going to talk about 4 things that you can do to help get back on track and to feel like the play therapy is working, and how to tell if play therapy is working. The first thing we're going to talk about is really going back to the basics, which is go back to your case conceptualization. So if you're not familiar with that term, basically what it means is you have gathered all of the information at that initial diagnostic intake session, and you have gathered all the information and used that information to formulate your kind of working hypothesis about what is going on that is causing these problems for your client. So if you're interested in that topic, I would highly recommend you go back and listen to some of my other podcasts or live stream replays. It's probably easiest to find them on my YouTube channel. Go back and listen to that. I go into a little bit more in depth about that. But here's the reason it's helpful to go back to your initial case conceptualization. It's kind of I look at it as my working hypothesis. And when I'm not sure what's going on, or I'm getting kind of frustrated, then what I'll do is I'll step back. I'll tell myself, stop, take a step back, take a breath, and go back to what I typically am, my kind of overall is using a neuroscience and attachment lens. So I'll kind of take a step back. I'll look at the situation through that lens. I'll remember all the information that I gathered in my initial kind of working hypothesis, and then add the rest of the information I've gathered in the session. The thing that you also want to think about is your case conceptualization is going to be influenced by your play therapy model. So you go to your case conceptualization, and then you also go back to your model and figure out, okay, well, where are they? What stage of play therapy is my client in? And that can be really helpful to kind of reorient yourself to what is going on, reorient yourself to the issues that are present that are contributing to these things going on. It will also reorient you to some of the positive things. Where are these resiliency factors? How are those showing up in the play therapy process? Think about where your client was at the beginning, where they are now. The thing that I find happens the most often, and we talk about this a lot in Play Therapy Academy, and that I'll talk a little bit more about Play Therapy Academy at the end. So if you're interested and you need more help, you need more hands-on support with a community of really supportive play therapists who get it, then that would be Play Therapy Academy. The thing is, one of the things that we do in Play Therapy Academy, because this comes up a lot, is we will kind of go back to what were the presenting issues, what is your initial case conceptualization, and what is your play therapy model? How does your play therapy model explain this, to get reoriented and regrounded, so that when you're looking at things again through new eyes, so to speak, then you can kind of remember, okay, this is where they were. Here's what's going on now. Here's my play therapy model. Here's that, because this is what's going on, and I'm using this play therapy model. I'm looking at what stage of play therapy client is in, and then what are you doing? What does your model say that you're doing in that stage, so that when you go looking for those activities, if you're using a model that has directive and non-directive, then most likely you're looking at activities that you can use, and you want to integrate those in there. If you're using child-centered play therapy, then you want to reorient yourself back to child-centered play therapy. What stage are they in? What are the themes that you've been recognizing? How are you tracking that? And maybe you need to let go and allow the child to lead, and look at the themes and use that to help you track where they were, where they are now, and where you're going based on what stage of play therapy you're in, and what does your play therapy model say to do in that. One of the things that I find, this is one of the things I find that happens a lot, and we talk about this a lot in Play Therapy Academy. Also, when people schedule their free 30-minute video call to see if play therapy is a good idea or can help them, this one comes up a lot. And so I find this is an area where people get stuck a lot. So I thought it would be a good episode to talk about today. The next thing you want to do is, so first thing is, step one, get grounded. Get grounded in your case conceptualization, get grounded in your theory model. Step two is check in with yourself, right? We always do that first. We're always checking in first. All right, let me see what's going on for me. So in this one, check in with yourself. What are your expectations? Are you going too fast? Like, have you established a good sense of safety and security in the session with your client where they feel like this is a safe place, and they're comfortable with you, they're comfortable with their environment? Because we know they're not going to really fully engage in play therapy. They can't engage their social engagement circuits, which is what is required in order to engage their play circuits, which is what is required to really access those therapeutic powers of play, right? That's the thing that sets play therapy apart from other play therapy modalities, are those therapeutic powers of play. Your play therapy model is going to influence how your client accesses those therapeutic powers of play, and they're not going to be able to do that until you've established that sense of safety for them in the playroom. So first, have you established that? Are you expecting your client to go faster than they're ready to go? What are your expectations for parents or caregivers? How are you connecting with parents or caregivers? How are you creating a space for them in the play therapy process so that you can help them support their child and know what to do to support their child outside of the play therapy sessions? Are you expecting parents to know how to do it? Are you expecting parents to know how this therapy process works? Are your expectations around that realistic, right? I think we often think parents should know more than they do because we forget. We do this every day. This is, we went to graduate school to do this. We got training to do this. I think we often forget that we're support people for parents, and helping them to know that actually they need to be the therapeutic agents of change for their child instead of relying on you to fix everything. Have you really helped them understand their role in the change process? And are you expecting children to be able to explain to you things to you that maybe they're not able to do? I would include adolescents with this. Are you expecting them to be able to articulate and communicate things that maybe they're not able to? So, or maybe they're not ready to. All of these things are part of creating that environment for safety, because we know clients aren't really going to make the changes that they need to make until they feel safe in the process. And part of that ability to feel safe is they get to go at their pace. Some clients are going to move faster through the process than others. The higher acuity family systems are going to take longer because they typically have generational histories of trauma, addiction, attachment issues, maybe poverty, all of these things, which add layers of complexity to making progress. And I'll use a DBT term here, dialectical behavior therapy, living life on life's terms, right? Like, how are we helping them become their best version of themselves? And part of that is dependent upon a variety of factors. Are the expectations that you have for your client based on their developmental abilities, are they realistic? And is it more about you want it to go faster than the client is ready to go? Or have you built that relationship with parents to provide a safe space for them? So step one is go back, revisit your case conceptualization, which includes kind of revisiting your, excuse me, your play therapy model, even when you're using an integrative model. Step two is check in with yourself. What are my expectations? What am I getting frustrated about? Let me kind of figure out what's going on with me and my expectations and see where I may need to make some shifts. I would say if you're feeling lost, either of those two things will get you reoriented. Usually step one is going to get you reoriented. And then if you're still feeling a little lost, you probably want to check in with yourself. The third thing is ask for feedback, right? Simple. If you're using child-centered play therapy, then you can ask for feedback and check in with parents. If you're meeting with them regularly, like I would say at least once a month, then you will have some dedicated time to check in with them and see how things are going. Ask for feedback about, what do they see is going well, where they see things are still struggling. If depending on your play therapy model, you can check in with your clients. If you're not using child-centered play therapy, if you're using any of the other ones, then you can check in. There's a way to check in with child-centered play therapy. I usually you have to be real careful with what I'm about to say, because you can't, in child-centered play therapy, you want to follow, you don't want to lead. But there are times when I am sensing something in the playroom and I kind of want to check out my hypothesis about what's going on. So I may track what I think is going on. And if it's not, they always tell me. And then I can respond, oh, I got that wrong. Oh, you want to let me know that I got that wrong. I mean, how cool for a kid to have grown-ups say they were wrong and kind of do that with them. The other ones, you can check in with your clients, like, how are things going? How are you feeling right now? What's going on right now with you? You can do different activities to check in with them. You can get a sense from them of where they are and what they might be struggling with. And if they seem to be not making progress, like maybe they're doing the same thing over and over and over and over for like 4 or 5 sessions, and maybe you're using an integrative play therapy model with your 10-year-old, and you can check in and say, hey, I noticed this, that, and the other, and I'm wondering, what's going on, or how are you feeling, or what's going on right now? How are things going at home? How are things going at school? So you can check in with your clients. You'd be surprised. I can't tell you how many times I have thought it was one thing, and then I check in with my client during a play therapy session and I find out it's a whole different thing. So I've just learned along the way just to kind of, hold the possibilities and trust the process, and to check in, and not to make assumptions. Then the fourth thing, so if you've done all those things, or maybe you're just really feeling stuck, or you're not sure what's going on, and your imposter syndrome starting to kick in, like you second guess yourself, you think you don't know what to do, you say to yourself, is this really what I'm supposed to do? Maybe I'm not a good play therapist. Maybe I'm just terrible at this. Maybe you start worrying that parents are going to figure out that you're a big giant fraud any moment now, and they're going to pull their kid from play therapy treatment, and it'll mean you failed and it's all your fault and you're just a horrible, horrible therapist. There's a good likelihood that is not true. It might just be you need some help. Nobody can do this job alone. We all need help. Even I need help. Even I get stuck. I I'll go through these steps that I'm talking about now when I'm getting stuck. Sometimes you just need more help. And so I think we are in a profession where asking for help is a positive thing to do. And so I think the key is being able to know where to get the support and who to ask. Do you have other play therapists who you can go to get ideas? Because I think that's one of the things that I found, especially talking to people on these free video calls that I do when people are calling and checking in to see if Play Therapy Academy is a good fit for them. One of the things that I find a lot is there are a lot of people a lot of play therapists who are in settings where you don't have support, not play therapy support. You probably have, a supervisor who's maybe good in other things and maybe well-meaning, but they don't know how to do play therapy and they don't know how to work with kids. So in that regard, you kind of feel like you're alone. And then you go back to all your trainings, you go online, look at, probably watch my videos, and I'm hoping they were helpful. Maybe listen to other podcasts, or go back through the internet and check in with Dr. Google, see what Dr. Google says, or Chat GPT, using those as kind of a resource. Go check out Pinterest for ideas, or Etsy, and see what you can get on Etsy or Amazon. But the problem is it doesn't all come together, and it's kind of like this mishmash of things that just kind of feel like they're all one big jumble, and you don't really have any direction. You don't really have a good sense of, is play therapy working? Is what you're doing, is it working? And when that's the case, I would say find a community of play therapists that you trust and that you can get support with. And I think that's one of the biggest benefits of being part of a play therapy community, is being able to talk with people who get it and understand, and have probably even experienced the same thing that you have, so that you know that you're not alone, you're not all by yourself, and you're the likelihood you're doing a terrible job is not very high. And so, to be honest, that's one of the reasons I started Play Therapy Academy. So I'll talk a little bit more about that. But let me do a quick recap. So what we're talking about today is how to make progress in play therapy when you're not sure what to do, when you're not sure if play therapy is working, when you're feeling frustrated, overwhelmed, and lost in the process, and just feeling like you're in this endless loop of going nowhere fast. The first thing you want to do is go back and revisit your case conceptualization. What is that working hypothesis that you formulated once you gathered all that initial information in the psychosocial assessment, getting all the details to really understand what's going on with your client and formulate your working hypothesis. And then as you go through session to session to session, you're meeting with clients, you're meeting with their parents or caregivers, you're gathering more information and kind of adding that to your case formulation, also known as working hypothesis, to see how that adjusts over time, because its assessment is ongoing. And you're looking at that through the lens of your play therapy model. So what does your play therapy model say is why the problem is happening? And then what are you going to do using that play therapy model? And what do you do in the different stages of play therapy? How do you know what stage of play therapy you're in? Well, that's going to be dependent upon your play therapy model. And then next thing you're going to do is check your expectations, right? So you get yourself grounded, get oriented, think those things through. If you're still a little off track or not sure what to do, check your expectations. Like, am I expecting too much? What am I expecting? What's going on that I'm frustrated? What's going on in terms of, have I created that safe space for clients to feel safe and comfortable? Have I made the connections with parents? Have I checked into it? Have I established rapport and a good working relationship with parents? Like, where are we in the change process with parents? And am I expecting too much? Am I expecting them to go faster than they're able to go? Am I expecting them to know things that I know because I'm a therapist, but they might not know because they're not a therapist? And to be completely honest, I feel like online and TikTok as in some ways has created overwhelm for parents. Like, they get all these different messages about what they're supposed to do. And a good parent does this. If you don't do this, you're not a good parent. Like, back in my day when my kids were little, we didn't really have a lot going on the internet. Then we did have more going on the internet, but we didn't have TikTok and we didn't have all these things, but we sure did have a lot of parenting books. And I probably read most of them. It's so overwhelming. And I found parents do that too. Like, they read all the books and they get conflicting information. And one person tells them this thing and another person tells them this thing, and family members are saying this and friends are saying this. It's overwhelming. And so, are we expecting too much from parents? Do we sometimes need to help them get oriented and settled and have a place where they can feel supported as a parent to know what to do to help their child? So do we have realistic expectations, and are we expecting things to happen that maybe are too soon or too much? Then the third thing I would say, if you checked into your case conceptualization and your play therapy model, you've checked in with yourself, still struggling, still not sure, check in with your clients, check in with parents. when you have those monthly meetings with parents, check in with them. How are things going? What's going well? Have you seen any progress? Think about frequency, intensity, and duration in terms of progress, maybe where they might still be struggling, where are parents struggling. Also, you can ask the child. If you're using child-centered play therapy, then it's child-led, so you're not going to ask directly. There are some ways I can check in through tracking. You have to be real careful about that, but you can still check in. If you get it wrong, they'll tell you. Or if you're using another model where you can use some directed interventions, then I check in with them. I'll ask, how are you doing? How are things going? I noticed that this seems to, this seems to be a struggle. I notice you've been doing this for the last several sessions, and I'm just kind of wondering how things are going. So you can check in. You'd be surprised what they tell you. Sometimes they don't, and I don't push it. I just let them continue to build trust, because if they've gotten trust with me, they're going to tell me eventually. But how they might tell me can make a difference. And then the fourth thing is, if you've tried all those things and you're maybe still feeling lost and unsure, then I would say get consultation. Get with a group of play therapists who get it, who understand play therapy, play therapists that you trust, where you can get feedback, get ideas, people that you trust that will give you constructive feedback, right? You just don't want to hear, oh, you're doing a good job and everything's fine. What you want is some constructive feedback that's going to help you really make progress and help your client, right? So that they can get better. That's why we get into this profession. We want to help children. We want to help families heal. So we have to be open to constructive feedback. And if you're with a community of play therapists that you trust, then that's part of the support that you give each other. So that is it for today. Hopefully you can have found this information useful. If you're feeling stuck, feel free to pass on the information to colleagues who might be interested. If you're interested in Play Therapy Academy, I have definitely one opening in Play Therapy Academy now. I may have some more openings coming up. So if you're interested, maybe you feel like you are isolated and alone and you don't have a community of supportive play therapists who are going to help you grow, where you feel like you can ask the questions in a safe environment, where you're not going to get judged, where you have other play therapists who get it, that can help you identify themes in play therapy sessions, help you apply your play therapy model with different types of children, and families, and know what to do in sessions, know how to integrate parents and get them to partner with you, even the complex and challenging ones. So if you feel like you need more support and you need a community of play therapists that are going to help you build your skills and take you from second guessing yourself to feeling like a confident play therapy expert, then I would say check out Play Therapy Academy. If you're interested in Play Therapy Academy and maybe you want to find out more about it, just schedule a free video call with me. It's 30 minutes. You can schedule online. You can pop over to my website at rhplaytherapytraining.com. That's rhplaytherapytraining.com. Renewing Hearts Play Therapy Training. Then you'll want to pop on the consultation page and look for Play Therapy Academy. So I have Play Therapy Academy, And I have my new membership, Play Therapy Elevation Circle, which is not open right now. It's going to be open soon, but it's closed right now. If Play Therapy Academy isn't a good fit, then I might be able to suggest maybe something else. Maybe Play Therapy Elevation Circle is a better fit for getting a community of support. But that's what we can talk about. We'll figure it out. But if you're finding that maybe Play Therapy Academy can help you take your skills to the next level, so you can stop second guessing your every decision in your sessions. You can stop feeling intimidated by parents thinking that any day now they're going to figure out that you're a terrible therapist and pull their child from play therapy. Then schedule a 30-minute video call. We'll see if Play Therapy Academy is a good fit for you. In Play Therapy Academy, we meet twice a month and we do the consultation. So we get into the nitty-gritty. We do case consultations. We give feedback. There are also courses in there, online courses to build your skills. And then we also have a group chat where you can get additional support in between our twice a month consultation calls. There's some other benefits as well. So Play Therapy Academy is really designed to provide I always say it's like a VIP experience where you get like tons of support. Know that you're not alone, that you don't have to do it alone, and that there are others to support you along the way. So if that's you, then schedule your video call today. And next week, just as an FYI, so next week I am actually heading out to Florida, Broward County. I'm doing a training for an amazing child advocacy center program in Broward County. I'm leaving Saturday. I get back next week. We're doing a 2-day training using play therapy and sand tray therapy to help children who've experienced trauma. So I fly back on Wednesday. So I go live every Wednesday, which means next Wednesday I won't be able to go live. And because I'm adjusting for a little jet lag on Thursday, I'm going to go live on Friday next week instead of my usual time on Wednesday. So next week will be Friday, June 27th. So I will see you next week, and bye for now. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Next Level Play Therapy. I hope you found the discussion valuable and gained new insights and ideas to support your work helping children, adolescents, and families heal. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe to the podcast and leave a review. Your feedback helps to improve and reach more people who can benefit from this information. Remember, play therapy is a powerful tool for healing and growth. Whether you're a new play therapist or experienced, I encourage you to continue your learning journey to unlock the potential of play in your own work and relationships. If you have any questions or topic suggestions for future episodes, I'd love to hear from you. Connect with me on social media and visit my website at Renewing Hearts Play Therapy Training to stay updated on upcoming episodes, trainings, and resources. Thank you once again for listening to Next Level Play Therapy. Until next time, keep playing, learning, and growing.